If you're an agency owner struggling to scale your agency, in this video, I'm going to go over why running paid ads will solve 90% of your problems. And if you're a business owner who does not have consistent lead flow, you feel like maybe you're not scaling your agency fast enough, or 3, your sales process and everything in your business feels completely unpredictable, solving ads will solve all of these 3 problems if you're feeling these same things, right? Now, imagine this, right now you're working on your agency and you're not sure what to do next, or maybe you don't have that greatest sense of urgency. Anytime you do something, especially when you run an agency or begin any online business, is, we have, what we call here is, if we can put it on a, visual diagram, we have here where you have, first thing is you have informed optimism, right? Maybe you watch a video about, Charlie Morgan, Iman Gadzhi talks about running an agency. So when you first start out, you watch all this content, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the next best thing, I'm gonna be so successful. You really haven't done anything yet. So the first thing that you have here is informed optimism, right? So you start out right here, it's great. And then you're gonna fall into the valley of despair. You come up, and then go up, right? So what happens here is you are likely currently right here, right? You have what we call informed optimism. So you think this is going to be great until you try, and now you're in the valley of despair. That you're trying things, but it's not going anywhere. And if you don't do the right things, you're not consistent, you never get out and actually see progress in your business. And the reason I like to bring this up into terms of paid ads is a lot of you are trying every lead generation except the one that is actually predictable. That when you start out in the business, is most people think like a consumer, that I trade time for money. But to become an agency owner, you're essentially become a business owner, so you need to trade money for time. Right? And so your leverage, you want to have more leverage on your time. And in order to gain that leverage, you need to start acting like a business owner, not just thinking like it. Because watching a bunch of Iman Gadzhi videos isn't going to help you get there. Right? But this is why paid ads is going to work. Is, ideally in your situation, you maybe get a handful of clients so you have money to run paid ads. I don't want you to dip into your savings or anything like that. But if you have the option to run paid ads, you have money set aside, you have some clients that you're getting, right, from the cold outreach and all the things that you're doing, is paid ads is going to put you in a position where you're going to make it work. The key thing is that, right, is most of you stay here down in the valley of despair doing all your cold outreach methods and are literally just too stubborn to consistently run paid ads, or maybe you ran paid ads and you keep starting and stopping it, right? Because your process isn't very good. But the key thing is, the only way for you to get out of this valley of despair is to stick with one thing and scale, right? And the most scalable thing is paid ads, simply because you can calculate a dollar amount that you spend and what you get out of that, right? And so whenever we're running paid ads, just think of it this way. If you think of the agency owner, there are agencies that scale through cold SMS, cold outreach, and all those things. And there are also agencies that scale with paid ads. Think about which agency is going to spend and waste more time. Totally the one that's doing cold outreach. You're reaching prospects that really aren't looking for your service, versus paid ads. You can craft an offer, you can create a funnel. These are people that are actually looking for your service, and yes, it costs money to reach them, but they're going to be so much easier to close. And when you're putting, let's say, both business owners who are running cold outreach and doing sales calls, you're both taking, calls every single day, right? Let's say that each of you have 5 sales calls, right? Sales calls each. The thing is, with most people, we're very risk averse, right? So when you're doing cold outreach, it didn't cost you money to get the calls to begin with. And let's say you don't progress during those 5 calls, you don't close anyone. How are you gonna feel? Well, I'll just do another 5 calls, right? But now imagine you paid $100 per call. So then the way you're gonna look at it is, I just spent $500. Versus the other person is, I spent 5 hours of my time to generate those calls. Well, let me just put another 5 hours, because you feel like you live fucking forever, whereas you don't. But the person that actually spends $500, he's gonna be like, oh shit, I need to learn, or else I can visualize that I'm spending $500 each time. People have a greater propensity to understand the money that they're wasting rather than the time that they're wasting. Because people have a misjudgment of the amount of time that it takes to do something. Or they just don't value time correctly. And for you in your position, likely you don't value your time as much as you should value your time, right? Is you probably view your hour of time as $100 per hour, where in actuality, it should be like $1,000 per hour, right? So from there, we need to start thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a business owner. So the moment you start running paid ads, you're gonna realize, hey, I need to get good at this or I'm going to keep wasting money. Simply, you're gonna get faster than the other guy that's not running paid ads. And more so from this process, as you get good, things are going to be a lot more predictable, right? You then realize for $1 that I spend, I'm gonna get 3, I'm gonna get $5. And how could I turn this from $3 to $5 or $2 to $3, right? We can, when we run ads, what do we start learning in this process, right? When you run paid ads, well, to build a foundation, you're going to start doing organic content, right? To lower your CPMs, right? What else is going to happen? You're going to build a funnel, right? You're going to get testimonials. Running paid ads has a butterfly effect that it'll force you to improve your organic marketing, so it'll fuel your paid ads marketing. What you're also going to get very good at is funnels, right? Different offers, right? Because now, instead of testing out different offers through blasting cold email, you can now send out all these offers. These offers, you can advertise and deploy offers much faster through paid ads. You don't need to wait a week to see if this offer is working, right? You can just deploy that offer into paid ads and know if it's working. You don't need to revitalize your entire copy, right? So this is the fastest way to make changes in your business and see for a dollar amount of time what you're gonna get out of it, right? So stop thinking in your agency. If you're running an agency and you're still thinking about the time that you need to spend to do this instead of the money that you need to spend, you're in the wrong game. You're thinking like a consumer and not a business owner. So if you're thinking about running paid ads, start running it, start saving money, be consistent with it, and stick with it until you see progress. And you can see that for every dollar, you can get $3, $5, all those things, even more. And if you're struggling and you want to work together and see if we're a good fit to work together, feel free to book a call below, and I'll see you on the other side.